Welcome to Online Chemistry. You should start the course by reading the syllabus. So I am in Canvas in our course, and on the left side of your Canvas you'll see a syllabus link. I encourage you to print the syllabus if needed. Sometimes it's easier to navigate a printed copy than a digital copy. How will you work through the course? On the left of your screen there is a link for modules. Okay? Each week you're going to work through the modules. I find that some students try to do the work in the course by using the calendar and only working what's due, what assignments are graded. But if you do that, you're going to miss a lot of information. So don't try to complete the course by just looking at the calendar. You should work through the modules. For example, the items listed in Module 1, there's a Welcome to Chemistry announcement. And then one of the first things you'll do this week is introduce yourselves on the discussion board. And then the next item in the module is an orientation quiz. I encourage you to use your syllabus. All the answers to the orientation quiz are on the syllabus. There's no time limit on that orientation quiz. There are no trick questions. So hopefully you can start with a 100 on the orientation quiz and a 100 grade for introductions. And then each week in a module, you'll see one of these modules called Read and Watch. So you need to read the chapter each week. I also have videos posted here. The videos will be me lecturing parts of the chapter. But you also need to read through the chapter because the video might not cover everything in the chapter, and there can be things that you read that will fill in the gaps. Then there's a module about ALEX. ALEX is your online homework assignment. Now, you already have the book and ALEX available to you because this is an ebook class. And so you need to read a little bit about this online homework. And then this review module, that is an ALEX assignment. I'm going to jump to a different screen for a moment and talk to you a little bit about ALEX. I have actually entered an ALEX assignment here. This is the Chapter 1 assignment. But when you're in ALEX, you can look through at different questions. The ALEX assignments are going to be, they're homework assignments, guys. So they'll be due on Sunday night at midnight. All assignments are due Sunday night at midnight. You do not have to work the ALEX assignment all at one time. You can work a little bit today, and then when you come back later today or tomorrow, the work that you've done will be saved, and you would pick up from there on that assignment. In ALEX, if you look over here on the right, there's some different tables. Like if ever needed, and it won't be perhaps for the review module, but of course we're going to need a periodic table. So you would access this periodic table. I'll provide one that you guys will have printed as well, but some students like to use the digital copy. Also in ALEX, on the right, do you see the little bar graph image? There's different tables there, and we'll start with like some SI prefixes and conversions amongst metric units, etc. Realize though that some of these tables, once we get to where we're going to take a test, you'll have to know those SI prefixes. Okay. So there's different tables throughout there that you're welcome to use while you're working the homework. I have the homework set so that you get 3 tries on each question. If it takes you 3 tries to get a question correct, you still get the same number of points. Points aren't deducted for multiple tries. Also, if you submit the assignment, as long as it's before the due date, you can rework that assignment, and I will take your highest score. Sometimes you might struggle the first time through a homework and might not make a good grade. So know that if you'll submit it, you can rework it, and I will take your highest score on the assignment. Going back to Canvas, Achieve Virtual Labs is the next entry in Module 1. you have to purchase access to the virtual labs. They are different from the ebook and from Canvas. So y'all can either purchase from the EMCC bookstore, or you can make that purchase online with a credit or debit card. The labs for this week, you need to work those in order. The first lab you'll see is an orientation assignment. That one's graded because you can tell underneath it has a date and points associated with it. Then notice the next three that says Introduction to Virtual Laboratory and Introduction to Simulations, Procedures, and then Experiments. You're going to want to work those in order. This is where I'm cautioning you guys, don't work the assignments with the calendar. Because if you worked assignments that are on the calendar, you're only going to work these assignments that have points associated with them. And do you see that the last entry in Module 1, Introduction to Lab Simulations Lab Assignment, those are questions about the lab. You will not be able to answer those questions if you haven't worked the 3 assignments that are above that, if you haven't read the procedures and done the experiment. Now, as far as the procedures and experiments go, you can work the experiment multiple times. You can read the procedures multiple times. I encourage you to go through the experiment more than once, because if you're weighing a beaker, guys, you should get the same mass for that beaker every time you weigh it. There's going to be different beakers in the lab. Sometimes you have to weigh a 100 ml beaker, sometimes a 250 ml beaker. When you get to the questions, it's going to specifically ask what was the mass of the 100 ml beaker. Well, if you mistakenly weighed the 250 ml, you're going to have the wrong mass. You're not going to have a mass that matches any of the answers. So it's a good idea to work through those steps twice, just as a double check. The questions that are graded, like the lab assignment part, you can only answer those questions one time. Okay, so the procedures and the experiments, you can answer those, or you can work through those as many as you want. But the questions, where your grade for the lab comes from, you can only access those one time. Okay, so again, I encourage you to work through week 1 in order. And message me if you have any questions.